Americans trust philanthropic leaders 3 times more than the federal government. And that's not a fun fact. That's a flare gun. We're rolling towards the United States' 250th anniversary. And we'll clap for self government and we'll act really shocked when the space for regular people to solve problems keeps shrinking. About 40% of nonprofits are running deficits. Demand keeps climbing, and this doesn't land on organizations, it lands on families. Government isn't just stepping back, it's boxing out voluntary action. Here's what it looks like up close. Let's get real. Nonprofit leaders aren't suddenly bad at budgeting, they're getting squeezed. Need is up in the plainest ways. Full shelters, longer childcare wait lists, patients waiting until it's an emergency, and staff getting stopped in hallways by people who need help today, not next quarter. When 73% of nonprofits report higher demand, that's not a survey vibe, that's a Tuesday. Then the funding turns into a mess. Grants show up late, contracts get paused, reimbursements crawl, and sometimes money gets cut or frozen. So if you're still awarded on paper, well, the payroll still hits every 2 weeks. And that's how you end up with deficits even when your programs are working because you're managing cash panic instead of running services. Now, people love to say philanthropy will cover it. No, it won't. Not at government scale. And donors didn't sign up to backfill the basic public commitments. Philanthropy is great at moving fast, taking risks, and trying new approaches, but it can't replace safety nets, big research, or long term infrastructure. So acting like it can is just dumping the problem to whoever can write a check. And it creates a trap. Donors get flooded with urgent asks for rent, food, emergency staffing, which are real needs. But that's what you fund when the floor is collapsing. Prevention gets cut first. The outreach that keeps people stable, the training that keeps quality up, the program that keeps families housed, because the contract only pays for the hotline after the crisis hits. And the squeeze shows up in the most boring, painful ways. 1/3 of all affected nonprofits cut staff. And it's not just fewer bodies, it's losing the people who hold the client relationships close and those who keep you compliant so you don't get clawbacks later. Leaders burn hours rewriting budgets, rescoping grants, begging for bridge money, and some groups end up suing over terminated awards because they're desperate enough to fight a federal agency in court for the money they were promised. Now add the policy climate. After 2025, in some mission areas, the message feels like, sure, you can serve, but only our way. Rules shift fast, boards get jumpy, funders hesitate, and leaders start self censoring because they've watched a headline blow up a budget, even when the work itself is legal and boring. Small organizations take the hardest hit because compliance is easier when you've got legal, finance, and a grants manager. If you're 5 staff with a volunteer treasurer, every new restriction and reporting requirement is a tax on your attention. And attention is the one thing you cannot buy back. And yeah, I'm going to say it straight. That's un-American. The country runs on voluntary association, neighbors forming groups, pooling money, building schools, launching clinics, running mutual aid, and solving local problems without waiting for permission. When government treats that civic muscle like a threat, you don't get accountability. You get control and fewer people willing to step up. Also, I'm not pretending philanthropy is perfect. It's uneven. Donors chase their own priorities, and power can get weird really fast. So, yes, write rules that block abuse and keep civil society open. But let's not kneecap the whole sector and then act surprised when families lose services first and the government pays more later. Running a nonprofit isn't always a walk in the park, but it shouldn't feel like you're getting punished for helping. Stop covering for the squeeze. The next time you're in a board meeting or writing a donor update, say it plainly. Demand is up, government money is late, paused, or tied up in new rules, and we're managing cash, not just programs. Then put it in writing with a simple one page, here's what's changed, kind of one sheet, what's delayed, what's breaking, and what bridge can actually help. Because vague struggle emails train people to ignore you. Now, if we hit America's 250th still treating civic action like a problem to manage, we don't deserve the fireworks. Drop a comment here and tell me what you're seeing. Frozen grants, lower reimbursements, demand spikes, new restrictions, staffing cuts, and tell me what's hitting your mission hardest. Because I want the patterns, not the rumors. And please, if you have a moment, subscribe as well, because I'll give you more straight talk about what's really going on in philanthropy versus the government.